Who's feeling good today? Stand up, will ya? Come on, let's stand up.
How are you?
Hey. Feel free to clap along, have a good time. Thank you to Nikki and Valerie for joining us and helping us get this thing on. Ready? I'm still waiting for that clock to turn, though. I'm watching the time. We're almost there.
That's okay. Everybody get going, get moving, get the blood pumping, get the hands clapping, get the feet stomping, get the body moving. Are you feeling it, Namaste?
2, 3. I am
Alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, alive with the Spirit of God. I am 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 alive, alive with the Spirit of God.
All right, here's my boy Rohan on the guitar.
Woo!
Take it.
Yeah, get it going. Woo! Yes. Are you feeling it, Namaste? Woo!
All right, take it.
I am alive with the Spirit of God.
I am alive.
I am alive with the Spirit of God.
I am alive.
I am alive with the Spirit of God.
I can feel it, I can feel it, I can
I
feel it.
am
Come on.
alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, alive with the Spirit of God.
All right, tag it with me, everybody. That thing. I am alive,
Alive with the Spirit of God. What are we?
I am alive,
Alive with the Spirit of God.
God. All right, Drake, one more time, Rohan.
Woo! Magic fingers.
Sing it with me. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit, alive with the Spirit of God. Oh, alive, alive with the Spirit of God. Right, tag it, here we go. I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. Hey.
Alive with the Spirit of God. Stay. So good to see everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Valerie Day. I'm a practitioner here, and we love to start our service off with an affirmation. So join me in saying our affirmation that we've been working with this month. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And let us pray, kick off our service with prayer. Oh, wait, hold the moment. We have our practitioner in training, bringing up our candles. So let us just pause as she brings our candle up and lights it. We love ritual at Namaste, and we love to bring in the light to our service. So we thank Jackie for lighting our candle today for us before we pray. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let us pray now. So we just arrive here this day, this beautiful Sunday afternoon, alive with the Spirit of God, just recognizing that there's one mind, one power, one presence, one infinite intelligence living in, through, and as my life and the life of each precious soul in this sanctuary, each precious soul that's streaming in. We just know that we are one and alive in the Spirit of God. We give thanks for the opportunity to worship together, to remember how amazing and beautiful and powerful we are, to remember the freedom that is our life. So we bless this service knowing that it unfolds with joy and depth and richness and wholeness, and that Spirit speaks through Reverend Bobby with grace and power and beauty, and sings through Kong and our music team. And we just feel the Spirit of God this day, expressing in, through, and as each one of us. So we give deep thanks for the power of love, the power of community, the power of Namaste. Just releasing this prayer, saying, and so it is. So I let it be. Now I'd like to invite Debbie Ann, member of our board of directors, to come up and do what she does so beautifully. Tell us what's going on at Namaste. Thanks, Debbie Ann.
Happy Sunday, Namaste. It's so wonderful to see everybody here, and also welcome to everybody that's joining us virtually. I get to talk about who we are, and I'm going to ask you to say this with me. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is love, truth, light, and peace. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we recognize that we are one. Namaste. Okay, now we are going to talk about what we do here at Namaste, who we are, what's our philosophy. And you can say this along with me. I learn practical science of mind tools and practice in a loving, connective, and vibrant community to reveal my power and change my life. Okay, and this is our mission. And this is something for me that I practice daily. And the thing for me to remember always is that sometimes the changes in our life aren't huge, sometimes they're small increments of change. So what we do is we awaken to a new truth in our lives. Then we realize how that truth has played out in our life. We take our new knowledge and transform our lives, and then we repeat the process in our lives in new ways. So our thank yous this week are to the practitioners, the Board of Trustees, and all of the teams that participated in our grand reopening. It was truly wonderful to see everybody that showed up and share some refreshments and really embrace community with each other. It's been a long time since we've been able to do that. Now, this is a reminder that next week is July 4th, and our service is virtual only. I'm going to say that again, it's virtual only. If you show up, you'll be the only one here. And we want you to be with us online Sunday, July 4th. The music and message will broadcast at our usual time, 4:30 p.m. And the message is pulled by vision. We hold these truths. I also want to, just on a side note, tell you that our in-person protocols will be changing in July, so look forward to hearing about that. Alrighty, our digging deeper for the month of July is on mindfulness. So Wednesday, July 7th at 7 p.m., join us on Zoom with Bonnie Bishop. Learn mindfulness at our next Digging Deeper. It's going to be hosted by Reverend Veronica and led by Bonnie. In our time with Bonnie, we will learn that mindfulness is not necessarily about being calm. It is about being present with what is. Mindfulness is just about noticing whatever experience we are having, including all the thoughts, feelings, or physical sensations that are a part of it. So join us for Digging Deeper. It's really always very, very beneficial. Okay, we have a class coming up. This is going to be facilitated by Reverend Veronica, and it's called The Abundance Within, and it's transformational practices to empower your life. Reverend Veronica created this class that will empower you to discover the abundance within. It's 4 classes. It's going to be on Zoom from 7 to 9 p.m., and it's on Thursdays. Now, they're not consecutive Thursdays, so I'm going to ask you again to refer to the newsletter, our website, to get full information. You can register now. Again, the links are all on our website, and it's $75 for the entire 4-session class. The Zoom link will be provided to you upon registration. And our Uncommon Conversations, which is hosted by our very own beloved Reverend Bobby. And this is Uncommon Conversations with people serving as spiritual leaders in diverse ways. Each conversation includes tools and stories of walking an uncommon life. You can view these on the Namaste YouTube channel or on the public television channel LA36 under the Namaste listing, and it's called Unlocking Your Life, if you're looking for it on LA36. I've watched these. They're very interesting. I invite you to check them out. I watch them on YouTube. And our choir, the regional choir that Namaste is a part of, is currently on hiatus. If you have any information regarding this or updated news, you can reach out to Julie Bathke or Marilee Adler. And their emails, again, on our website, in the newsletter. And we invite you weekday mornings for some prayer, support, connection with our beloved practitioners. They facilitate a daily spiritual practice beginning at 7 a.m. And you can join on Zoom or you can join on the phone and start your day with prayer. And next, it is my pleasure to invite the practitioner lead, which is Jeff, and he's going to be joining us all the way from Sedona, Arizona, and he has a special announcement for us. If you look to the screen, you will see him, and welcome, Jeff.
Jeff, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jeff? So, for those of you, Jeff is our lead practitioner, as was mentioned, and he has a special presentation today. And by the way, he can see all of you, just so you know. So let's have a nice wave to Jeff. Can you see that? Great. All right, Jeff, it's all you.
Is to recognize the recent actions
All right, Jeff, they're making their way. And they're up.
I wish I could speak to you or look at you in your eyes, because I personally want to thank you for letting me witness your journey for the last 30 weeks. I'm grateful for your vulnerability, your honesty, and your diligence, and all your personal work. Each of you taught me so very much, and I learned with you and through you. Each of you are a gift to the Namaste community. Please take this in. When we spoke after the time with Arden Carroll at Reverend Bobby's house and all the practitioners at the retreats, we spoke of prayer and qualities. I want to present to you each a gift from all of the teachers, all of the reverends, and the entire community. Congratulations to recognize your work in the depth of your activity. I handpicked these melodies, and they're all different tones. They're actually coming from the bookstore at Uni Experiment. They're both different and they're personalized to the different stones. Paulette, yours is clear quartz. The intelligence guided the clarity and illumination of your path, clarity of mind, clarity of your path. Jackie, amethyst. It is this purple color which is the depth of your spirituality. It is that individualized voice of God that speaks through you. It is that peace that God is that emanates from your pores that bless each community. Debbie Ann, yours is stone quartz. It is of the heart. It's a reminder that we live in a reciprocal world of giving and receiving. It is that which we already were. Not only do we love outwardly, but we also receive it. And the greatest reminder is to give it to ourselves. I honor all of you as one of the Namaste community where just expand consciousness without me. I am grateful for all of you. I love you, and however you continue at your path, I honor you. So I would ask the community at this time to give you a great applause. Love each and every one of you. Blessings. And I want to thank Reverend Bobby and Nikki for beaming me up, and anyone else that were responsible. It means a great deal to me. I had some harmonies over there. Best gift ever. Thank you. Congrats to all of you, by the way. I want to say hello to all of you here with us today and everybody at home, let's feel free to go a little bit deeper. I'm held in love, I'm held in peace. God is holding me with every breath and every step. God is holding me. 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 I'm held in love, I'm held in peace. God is holding me. With every breath and every step, God is holding me. 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 God is holding me.
So let's just pause for a moment before I begin my share and just feel God holding me. Feel God holding me, yes. So I'm really delighted to be with you all today. We're wrapping up the theme of the soul's call, and Reverend Bobby's going to take us deeper into the soul's call to freedom. And as 4th of July is around the corner, the collective consciousness of our country is focused on freedom. And when Reverend Bobby and I were weaving in preparation for today, she asked me the question, what is freedom? And I immediately answered, being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. But as we began to ponder that question, and I connected with the true answer to that question, that it's really an inside job when we're talking about freedom. It's about being in the present moment. And I don't know about you guys, but I tell a lot of stories about the past, stories about the future, and the truth is those stories aren't true. They're just what we believe or what I believe. And that isn't freedom. When we're worried about the past or the future, we aren't in the present moment. And freedom is in the present moment. I was blessed this week to participate in an amazing, life-changing summer solstice retreat on Monday. And I almost didn't participate because it was on Zoom, and I had a whole story about, I don't want to do a retreat on Zoom, and I got over that. I tried to create an in-person experience, and by divine design, I did this retreat in my home. And the retreat was titled Ignite Your Joy. And summer solstice is about embracing the fire element, the energy of the phoenix and rebirth and renewal and joy and play and fun. And Lita Martin, who is a practitioner at Ventura Center for Spiritual Living, facilitated finger painting. And she demonstrated finger painting for us, and we followed her lead, and I absolutely loved the experience of finger painting. And this has become my new spiritual practice, and on our altar was my finger painting of summer solstice. And every morning I've gotten up and I've painted. And this has really been an amazing experience for me. And I'm letting myself play, and this is freedom. And I'm creating from the impulse of my soul in the present moment. And it's really been healing for me, because what I realized, I don't know, maybe day 3 of painting, that when I was a little girl, I needed to be perfect. And so I couldn't draw because I wasn't going to look good enough, and I wasn't going to be perfect enough. And so what this painting has done is let my little girl know that she doesn't have to be perfect. And, you know, I wrote a children's book, and the message is you don't have to be perfect because you already are. And it's just pure magic. I love this new spiritual practice. And so this is a public service announcement. Mark your calendar in August, because I'm going to invite you all to finger paint. We're going to do that in the circle in August. So for our spiritual practice today, one of the other things that we did at the retreat, some of you might be familiar with Native American 7 Directions prayer. And so I want to lead us in the 7 Directions prayer. And it's what's unique about this prayer that I'm going to lead us in today. It was written by one of the practitioners that Monday, and it includes the elementals, which is something I'm learning about, which is dragons and fairies and gnomes. Doesn't that sound like igniting your joy? So many of you have shared with Reverend Bobby that you love when we do ritual at service, and ritual is really an honoring of the cycles of life. This honoring is a way to be present in the present moment. And this is an active prayer, which gives us the practice of bringing the external and the internal into harmony. It helps us be more present in our everyday hustle and bustle of life and take pause. And in Science of Mind on page 485, Ernest Holmes states, "The creature shall be delivered from bondage. As the inner light dawns, it delivers the outer light from bondage." This is in line with the teaching that everything is from within out. When the soul knows freedom, the law still free the body, and the outer life will express health, happiness, and success. So I invite you to stand, because this is an active prayer. And it's called the 7 Directions because we're actually going to face different directions. And Miguel, if you can turn on the hand mic. So we start from the east. So I'm just going to turn, you guys are already facing the east. So we start from the east. I bow now to the direction of the east. I give thanks and receive the rising sun and rising moon, birth and rebirth, winds that bring new beginnings and clarity, new days, new cycles, open horizons, springtime, planting seeds, abundance, prosperity, and gratitude. Beloved spirits of the East, beloved Aries and Thor, beloved fairies, sylphs, and all elementals of the air, I love and honor you. May wisdom dawn in me so I may see all things in clarity. And now we face the south. Facing the south, I bow now to the direction of the south and give thanks and receive growth and healing, the midday sun and moon, the spark of life, the fire within, connection with our inner child, summertime, passion, creativity, inspiration, joy, and music, beloved spirits of the south, beloved Helios and Vesta and Diana, beloved Astrea, beloved salamanders and all elementals of the fire, I love and honor you. May the action of the sacred fire ignite the joy and passion within me. And now we turn to the west. I bow now to the direction of the west. I give thanks and receive the setting sun and moon, the ending cycles, autumn's bountiful harvest, change, dreams, vision, and emotions. Beloved spirits of the west, beloved Neptune and Lunara, beloved undines and elementals of the water, I love and honor you. May wisdom be transformed into right action so I may do what must be done. And now we turn to the north. Facing the north, I bow now to the direction of the north. I give thanks and receive wisdom, knowledge and discernment, stillness, wintertime, nighttime, introspection, ancient knowledge from our earth ancestors, the elements and foundation of the earth, strength and courage. Beloved spirits of the north, beloved Virgo, beloved fairies, gnomes, and all elementals of the earth, I love and honor you. May wisdom evolve in me so I may know all from within. And now we return to the east. I now bow to beloved Father Sky above, and raise your hands above. I give thanks and receive the blessings and the guidance of the company of heaven, the Federation of Light, and our spirit guides. May my brothers and sisters and ancestors unite with me now. And now we bow down and touch the earth. Touch the earth. I bow now to beloved Mother Earth below. I give thanks and receive the blessings and the guidance of Mother Gaia, the nature and Davic spirits, crystal and mineral kingdoms, the sacred core, and the light beings from the inner earth. May the heartbeat of her crystal core bless me with peace and harmony. Now place your hands on your heart. And I bow to our beloved I Am presence in the center of our hearts. I give thanks and receive balance, sacred union, oneness, and transformation. My freedom be our victory in the light. And so it is. Peace and blessings. Namaste.
How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? How many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? How many times can a man turn his head, pretend that he just doesn't see? Answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. times must a man look up before he can see the sky? How many ears must one person have before they can hear people cry? And how many deaths will it take till you know that too many deaths and too many people die? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome Rev Bobby today. Oh, there she is. She's everywhere.
I am everywhere. Just going to clean up my workspace a little bit here. So today's talk, which is the soul's call to freedom, the whole month has been about the soul's call. The whole month. And the book of the month, which is A New Earth, and I must say I appreciate hearing from people when they're trying something from the New Earth, because I've been trying stuff from this book all month. And part of my journey into ministry is to focus on my own spiritual practice and my own spiritual journey. It's kind of what you do, right? You do it for a living, so to speak. And I do it because it's made such a huge difference in my life. My life dramatically changed, which is what prompted me to become a minister, because I wanted to share my own journey with others, but I also wanted to learn more and more about how I could realize, and ultimately for me, there are two things I wanted to realize more in my life: peace and love. It ultimately came down to those two things, peace and love. And I made this covenant at the beginning of the year that had all to do with the fact that I realized, and it's taken me about 6 months now to understand, the covenant I made was joy for this year. And I came to understand that part of what's been in the way of my own personal joy, and when I say joy, I'm not talking happiness. When I say joy, I'm talking about sort of a lightness of being. I find sometimes, especially for me, the times when I'm most heavy is in the middle of the night. I wake up. Does anybody wake up in the middle of the night? And that voice kind of kicks off in the middle of the night. And the things that I'm most bugged about, which is really, for me, it's more about my perfectionism, gets all triggered in the middle of the night, because everything that I didn't do right, or mostly perfect, anything that's left undone isn't perfect, and therefore that voice would kick in the middle of the night. And I found over the last number of years, and I mentioned this month, is I realized I was kind of living with this kind of low-level anxiety most of my life. Anybody live with that? Yeah, more than we know. And so the New Earth was really interesting, because it's funny how things, and I'm sure you find the same thing, that something shows up. Whenever you open or set an intention, something shows up, and it shows up to support you on the journey. Sometimes it's awesome. Sometimes it's a book. Sometimes it's a person. And sometimes it's a really annoying experience. And so part of the journey that I've had with the book, The New Earth, was really sort of what the song just mentioned, which is the answer's blowing in the wind. The answer is in silence. The answer is not in my worrying. The answer is not in my anxiety or what I'm anxious about. The answer is when I realize that there is something calling me all the time, but I can't hear it if my head's going off. I can't hear it. The ego is incredibly loud. And the ego is so loud that we actually believe what it says. And as I've mentioned throughout this month is there's nothing that the ego says that's true. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. Because it's always going to speak in a voice that comes from fear. And the voice that comes from fear is not truth, it's only fear. And the ego operates in the part of our brain that is helping us survive the tiger that's outside the door that's no longer there. Now, there is a divine call. And if I could have you guys put up the first slide. The divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. And when I'm talking about God, I'm talking about universal consciousness, the creative mind. I'm talking about the creative urge. I'm talking about everything in the universe is God. This is not God ordained. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul, and all instinctively feel this. You know how I know this? Because we're always looking for ways to become more free. Free from the story, free from the emotion sometimes I feel, free from this idea that somehow I'm not enough, free from this idea that somehow I'm not beautiful enough, smart enough, whatever the not enough of is. The truth points to freedom, and freedom is actually a spiritual law. The entire planet is filled with creatures searching for freedom and or losing this feeling of being held in bondage by something. Each one of us have it. The inherent nature of all is forever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom. We shall do well to listen to this inner voice, for it tells, hold on now, this sentence is really, really important. For it tells of a life wonderful in its scope, of a love beyond our fondest dreams, and of a freedom that the soul craves. That divine urge within us for freedom is real. And I think let's just give the ego a break for just a moment, because it's trying to find freedom. But the challenge is the ego is finding freedom through what it's afraid of. Therefore, if the ego's in charge, it will always look for things it's afraid of. The soul, which is inherent in each of us, is not afraid. So it's never going to look for freedom from what it's afraid of because it doesn't have fear. And there is that part within us that is completely unafraid. There is the part within us, if we listen, and for those of you that came when I had Nikki Freeman, one of our practitioners, up here demonstrating, any story within me that speaks of fear is part of what Eckhart Tolle calls the pain body. And as long as I grab onto that story and allow it to just come rushing into my head and continue to repeat and replay that story, I've just now made it incredibly real in my experience. Only in my experience, because what's really interesting is we're playing that story out. As I'm playing my story out, none of you know that. You're not having the same experience as I am. Shouldn't that tell me that there's something about that story that's not real? And the fact is the story I'm playing out in my head is the story I've played out not just yesterday. I've been playing it probably since childhood. I've been playing it because my family played it. I've been playing it because my teachers told me that was what was true. Or whoever it was that helped condition that story into some kind of truth. Here's the kicker. As soon as you turn 18, you're done. Now the choice is yours. The choice is yours of whether or not you want to continue to be held in bondage by that story. It's up to you. Freedom then will come only to such degree as we no longer do anything that hurts anyone, including ourselves. That does not mean that we have to become spiritual or intellectual doormats. There's nothing in our belief which causes us to feel that God or the creative principle wants us to suffer, and there's nothing in it that says I have to suffer myself or suffer for someone else. As a kid, I remember my mother said this a lot. She said, and I got to believe it, that somehow her suffering was my responsibility. I'm not alone. I'm not the only parent, had a parent like that. I know there's a few people in the room that had parents like that. And so I somehow thought that if someone else is suffering around me, that I'm responsible for them becoming free of that suffering. How easy is it to sit and hold space for someone suffering when that's the story that you somehow believe? It's very tough, isn't it? It's very tough to let that go, because I say it's tough. Whatever story I'm telling in my experience, as I continue to affirm that story, no matter what it is, if I sit and say that I'm always afraid, I'm always afraid. If I sit and say that, I'm continued to be afraid of whatever it is, that story gets affirmed in my experience, and it isn't until I stop and I pause, which is what I'm doing, and I go, that story, I'm just going to put it right over here, because that story is I'm just going to put it over here and just let that story kind of be over here, but it's not my story. And every time I pause and just take that story and put it over here, that story loses its power. But we're in such a habit of taking that story and replaying it. The power, the journey to freedom is here. Can you put up the next slide? Ernest Holmes in Science of Mind, Ernest being the founder of Science of Mind, he says, as the inner light dawns, it delivers the outer life from bondage. So stop, don't read it anymore, look right here. Just look right here. Don't be reading ahead, because I know that's what you guys do. There is nothing on the outside of us. Nothing on the outside of it, person, place, or thing, experience, event, situation. There is nothing that will bring us freedom on the outside. Nothing. Not when I get the right job, not when I get the right partner, not when I get the right house, not when I live in the right community, not when my family stops being a pain in my what. I love that sound. Nothing on the outside of us brings us freedom. Absolutely nothing. The freedom is the silence within that knows that there is nothing. That knows that there is nothing except the inner silence within me. That's what freedom is. That's it. This is in line, so going back to this, as the inner light dawns, it delivers the outer life from bondage. When I figure it out here, it all comes into being out on the outside of me. This is in line with the teaching that everything is from within out. It's the only way it goes. I'm so sorry. No, I'm not. Eileen C. Davis, I'm not sorry, am I? No, I'm not sorry at all. When what the soul knows is freedom is believed by the body, that's the kicker. The soul already knows. When the body gets in line, and that's when the ego's not leading, when the ego's not driving, the law will free the body, and the outer life will express health and happiness and success, and all things will work for good. One of the things that Eckhart Tolle talks about in the New Earth is, do you want your life to unfold in the way you'd love it to? Clean it up in here. You got to clean it up. And it's not about, you don't have to know where everything comes from. You don't have to know all the stories. You have to practice a new truth, That's it. Just practice a new truth. Now I say that sounds so simple, didn't it? It's simple, not easy. Because I'm going to look around the room right here, and I'm going to see that most of you are over the age of 25. You guys over the age of 25? That's good to know. Okay. Yeah. The point is that once you're at this point, you've had a lot of practice with this story, which means it's going to take a little practice to let it go. It's going to take a little practice, but I can guarantee you this. It will not take as long as it took to get you here. It won't. But you got to change the habit. All things work for our good. Even that which we call evil is salutary, leading us to the way, the truth, and the life. Suffering should teach us a lesson. And it does, doesn't it? When that spiritual 2x4 hits me, man, it doesn't hit me as much anymore. But when it does hit me, I know there's another one coming. And I don't mean punishment. I mean, it's time to get it. And I don't want to suffer anymore. So I don't want another 2x4. Suffering should teach us a lesson which would cause us to refrain from making more, and I would say the same mistakes. It carries a blessing with it when we learn to garner knowledge from experience. One of the things that's interesting this whole weekend, we've been watching our daughter and their team play volleyball. And because it's so close to my talk on Sunday, I'm always observing things of what particularly I'm talking about. What's coming up for me as I'm watching? It's my practice. What's coming up for me as I'm watching this? And what came up for me as I was watching this amazing group of girls who were struggling, and they were struggling with making mistakes, and they were struggling with at times when they were losing. And what it felt like, this is my story, because my story is my story, right? What it felt like is getting caught up so much in the mistakes that they were missing the point of what I would call fire in the belly. The fire in the belly is that passion for life and that passion of just living. And so if I'm afraid to make a mistake, then I'm going to miss the experience of just playing volleyball. If I'm worried about losing, if I'm worried about making a mistake, I'm going to miss the point. I'm going to miss the point of the joy in this amazing game. That's an example. So when I'm playing with fire in the belly, I'm just so passionate about my life that I'm not worried about what may happen if I don't do the right thing. And true freedom is living life without being worried about doing the wrong thing, making a mistake, making the wrong choice, getting eaten up by the tiger. And each one of us have that tiger at the door. And whatever that fear is what I will try to keep from happening, and I can't. I can't. So what's my choices? My choice is that if I can let it go, one of the choices, if I can let go of what I think may happen as a result of if I make a mistake or don't, or whatever it is, that I can allow life, that I can allow God to operate as me, and trust that the universe indeed conspires for my success. That does not mean that I won't make mistakes, that I won't learn. As a community called Namaste, so when I think about Namaste, which is the divine in me sees the divine in you, right? For those of you that term is new, the divine in me sees the divine in you. That's the simple explanation. Imagine what it would be like if the divine in me saw the divine in you. That means that I would look at our world from that place that has no fear, that I would look at the world from a place of possibility, that I would look at the world without the story that somehow the universe isn't conspiring for my success, that somehow it's not a friendly place, and it is. And if it's unfriendly, it's because I'm participating in the consciousness that plays at the level of fear, and I get to choose. So let me just ask this question. And I'm going to have you just kind of pause for just a moment, because I'm going to ask you to answer the question, which also means that if you're afraid to answer the question, you get to think about that too, okay? What would my life look like if I was free? What would it look like? Now, before I call on somebody, because I think I almost know all your names, what would my life look like if I was free? Valerie, what would my life look like if I was free? Light, possibility, and full of energy. Is there anything in your life, if you were free, that you could let go? If you could let that go, you'd feel free? Your death? Your debt. So if you could let go of your debt, you'd be free. So Valerie knows we've already had this conversation. But I sucked her in. So you want Valerie to go further? I know you do. Right? You do, don't you?
Okay, so the truth is
Wait,
that
say it again. What is the thing you could let go that if you could let go, you'd be free?
my debt.
Your debt, okay.
And what I realized from my share and our chat is that I'm already free, that's my story, right? My story is I'm not free because I have this debt, but the truth is I am free already.
Right, because, are you really doing anything you don't want to do?
No.
No. Are you doing things you love to do?
Yes.
Is that what you always dream about in your life?
Yes.
Okay, so if that's freedom, then the debt is a story you're telling yourself in which, because I have debt, I'm not free.
Right.
Does anybody have a belief system that right now, that if they could let it go, what would you let go? Say that again? That exact one. So if you had no debt, you'd be free. You do what you want now, but the debt, which is an American almost tradition now, is if I had no debt, I'd be free. But yet, we have judgment about it, shame about it. Shame is a big part of it. And I just appreciate Valerie because she's always so transparent so thank you for that, because that's vulnerability. But when I share that part of me, what would my life look like if I was free? What is it that I would have to let go? What is it you think you have to let go? Tell someone else. Eileen. So you want the freedom to make mistakes and not feel bad. So why don't you do that now? You're closer. Okay, so the freedom to make mistakes and not feel bad. So the opportunity exists to pause and go, what? So I was having a conversation with a therapist recently about my little bit of anxiety that I have, and she said to me this, and my wife loves this. She really loves this. And she's used it, but now she knows she's not allowed to say this to me. Only the therapist can say this to me. So you know this is going to be good, right? She said, Bobby, when things aren't working, It's really not life or death. It's just annoying. Yeah, that's... So Janine said that to me one day because I was kind of stressing out. And she goes, Bobby, it's not life or death. It's just annoying. And then I got annoyed at Janine for saying it. Eileen. Nobody died today. Nobody died today. And I think that's the thing. It's that we put so much importance on that belief system that it becomes the end-all, be-all. And it's keeping us from living life with the fire in the belly and having an experience of life that we were truly born for. Nobody or nothing is in the way. Nothing is in the way except what I believe. Except what I believe. So one other tip too is if you want to know if you're living in fear, you're in the past or the future. And there is no such thing as either. Can't change the past. You cannot predict the future, even if you're psychic, because I can make a choice and just ruin your whole idea. In the new earth, as Eckhart Tolle talks about, the only way through is to be in the present. The only way through is to recognize when I'm carrying the story and affirming it. The only way through is to take that beautiful, sacred pause and give it its rightful place, which is not here and not here. It's way over here, just so I can kind of see it and wave to it occasionally, until it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Eckhart Tolle said in The New Earth, what the future holds for you depends on your state of consciousness now. That's it. Do you want to be free? You could be free now. It's entirely up to each one of us. If we want to create a new earth, the time is now. Not tomorrow when, I feel better. Because I'm practicing it all right now. That's my practice. So let us go to prayer. The present moment is God. It is all there is. It is the only thing that exists. And in this present moment, as I stand here in the recognition that there is one power and presence, that all things flow from it, are it, through it, and as it, that the joy and the peace and the love that we all shake our heads and say yes to, those are the things that of God, and those things are in me because I'm one with God. I am not one with anything but God. That is the truth. And so what I declare right here and right now in that truth is at the present moment, as I invite each one of us to breathe in and breathe out and allow the present moment to be that breath, knowing that that breath is all there is. It not only reminds me, it is me. So as I feel that breath moving through my body, I recognize that right here and right now I am free. And I know that is true for each person in this room and virtually. I am free. Say that with me. I am free. Again, I am free. Again, I am free. And breathe out. Breathe out. And even though you might be going through something in this prayer, I just know right here and right now is all there is, just this moment. No matter what we're going through in life, this moment right here and right now is the only thing that exists. So I anchor with this moment, knowing that this moment is the only truth. That's it. And when I anchor in this moment, I'm present at this moment, I can see all the things that I need to be and do because I'm anchored in the moment. And I allow this moment to be what I am through this week. And I remember sooner each time it gets better and better and better. And life is free. So I just call this time we have shared together good and very good. And so it is. Thank you for coming today and being with us here at Namaste as we come together, which is so interesting to come together because we're learning to be together again, aren't we? We're learning to be together again. So before Kong does the next song, I just want to call your attention to a couple things. How many folks in the room get the newsletter? If you don't and you would like it, you can go onto the Namaste website. Down at the bottom, you can sign up for the newsletter. There's a reason. We're still walking through the pandemic. We're still trying to be as safe as we can and be as conscious as we can with the people in our lives and the people we love. So the next time we come together, next Sunday we're virtual, and we're doing that. Our service is at 4:30 in the afternoon because we're going to let you all go enjoy your barbecues and your family functions, and you just get to watch the service from your home. So we're not going to compete with that. I can't compete with 4th of July. It's like a national holiday, for goodness sakes. So you can watch us virtual. We'll have a nice service next Sunday. When you get the newsletter, you're going to see that we're still, the next 2 months, we're going to be in the park once a month. And we're doing that so people can feel more and more comfortable coming back into community. We care very much as a board of trustees how we come back into community. The next time that you come into this space, which is July, maybe the 11th or 18th, look on the website, look on the calendar. When you walk in that door, yes, you will get your temperature checks. If you have had a vaccine, you do not have to wear a mask. You do not. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you haven't had a vaccine, and this is state guidelines, so we're following the state guidance, please wear a mask. We're all adults here. We're following the guidance of the state of California. So we would appreciate if you would just be an adult in that and follow that guidance. We're still going to take temperatures. There's a variant out there called Delta. We want to make sure nobody walks into this room that has a temperature, that is feeling kind of lousy. Stay home and watch, and we'll love you all the way from here. We will have this information in our newsletter, so you can get that information. And let me just say this. However you walk in, we love you. We are just fine. But we do this for you. I don't do this for me, I do this for you too. So let us think of each other as we go forward with the world opening in ways that probably gets us a little anxious in some ways, I'm sure. So you come in as you feel safe and comfortable and allow yourself to unfold. Just like we didn't get here overnight, right? So with that, I'm going to now give it to Kong, and let's do that next song. And tell us our guest today, Kong.
Anything is possible when you believe. Anything is possible when you believe. And you can make a mountain when you believe in yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you believe in yourself. You're gonna make a miracle when you believe. Feel free to sing along, dance, clap, have some fun. You can make a miracle when you believe. Everything you want, you got when you believe. Yeah, everything you want, you got when you believe in yourself. 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 I believe in me, and I believe in you, and we believe in each other. Ain't nothing that we can't do. Yourself, when you believe in 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 yourself. Gonna make a miracle, we're gonna make a miracle, we're gonna make a miracle, we're gonna make a miracle, gonna make a miracle, gonna make a miracle, gonna make a miracle in yourself. When you believe in yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you believe in yourself.
So, 2 years ago today, this guy started with Namaste. It was his first Sunday. 2 years ago today. Yeah.
Crazy. Thank you. It's gone so fast.
Oh, it's
2
like
years.
it's like fast and like 5 years in the last year, right? So here's something interesting about him, that over the last year, while we've been in the pandemic, year plus, right? Almost a year and a half, he has showed up every time, and not just small. This guy has shown up for this community, and I've got to tell him, every time I even question, which I don't, but every once in a while I get a little bit of question about somebody, he shows up without question. He just shows up for Namaste, and he does this great music, and he's been part of this community, and I want to thank him for what you bring.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I know I'm big, but I'm shy, so.
You're slightly red. So thank you for that, Ray. We have lots to be grateful for as we continue to move and open up our world. We also continue to be very present in it and be mindful of how things may change. So I'm just grateful that each one of you have shown up today. Next Sunday, again, is virtual. And I'm grateful that we get to do this, whatever form it shows up in. It's amazing. So I'll just go to our conscious giving with that, because this is the time in which we get to be so grateful. grateful for my own experience in life, grateful for how I share it, grateful for the fact that this community supports my journey and yours, and anybody that's watching virtually. Anybody that comes in touch with you is being affected by what this community does. So as we come together with that beautiful idea that how I share does make a difference. So I just take that offering, whatever it might be, and there's a basket in the middle. You can give online, whatever it is your choice. Just take what's in your heart, whatever it is, and just place your hand on your heart with whatever that is. There are so many people that come together to put this together, and they do so with that beautiful heart of service, recognizing that lives do change when we come together in community. We're not here doing this alone. We do this as a community. So I just know this offering right here and right now, I just bless it, knowing that it just does great work. It's energy. It's all it is just energy. It's just energy. But in that it is vast and it is infinite. So I accept that infinite quality of what I give, knowing that it's good and very good. It's good and very good. And I allow this gift, and when I let it go, I don't try to characterize it or label it of anything except I've just given a part of me in this moment. So in that, I just bless it, and so it is. So I think we have a benediction. Is that correct? Yes. I'm just going to wait for it to come up. Got a benediction over there? We're going to look for it for just a moment. Hold on there. There it is. So Namaste's been doing this benediction for years. In fact, the song that follows this benediction, I want you to understand, has deep, rich roots in this community. Deep, rich roots. And if you're not familiar with the song, I just encourage you to not only listen to the words, sing the words. And know that the next two pieces that we do have deep, rich energy and vibe for who we are. So share that with us if you're new here today. So let's do this together. So I want you to just pause for just a moment, because folks that are really familiar with this like to jump ahead a little bit because they know the words, right? So I know that something amazing happening. Would you tell me what it is? Something wonderful is happening through me right now. Now, no matter what's happening to you, there's really only one label we can give it. And what is that? It is this thing called life. Where is it? Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is all that I am. And life is all that we are. Now, here's the choice. What am I going to do with it? I accept it, I am it, and I share it with all. Hold on. I know, it's so exciting. That sharing is really important. And I'm going to share it in a particular way. How am I going to do that? Just the way it appears, and just the way it appears not. Hold on. If there's one thing you can say that can make the biggest difference in your life, it is the next statement. So I want you to take your hands, and I want you to hold them forward or hold them up or do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do with them, because this says it all. You ready? Thank you, life. And so it is.
Thank you, Bobby. And please feel free to stand up and sing the Namaste song with us. I am the song. You are the melody. I am the voice of harmony. I am the heart of all eternity. I am Namaste. I am eternity. I am the people, remembering to be free. I am the love of all eternity. I am Namaste.
Who are we?
I am,
Who are we?
I am.
Who are we?
I am the way I am. I am Namaste. Yes, I am.
Would you tell us about our guest today, our guest artist today?
Our guest artist today is Rohan Arora, and I never say his name right for about 9 years that I've known him, but he doesn't correct me, so he's a great guitar player too. It's pretty good.
So I just want to say a few thank yous before we go. First of all, Kong and the guest we have today, Valerie Day, thank you for the share that you had today. Beautiful. Nikki Freeman, Minister Support, and her and Valerie opening up service. I just think they're so much fun. Miguel is on sound today in for Andrew. And we have Janine and Paulette over here doing our technology. Debbie Ann Vokes is our Board of Trustee. And Julie Geno and Jackie Pearson, always, thank you for leading today. Thank you for being here today. And just really, really grateful. And did I forget anybody, Susan? And everyone else, the whole welcome team. So thank you, everyone. Carol Gibson in the back, thank you for doing that. So we're just really grateful you could be here today. So as we close today, I want you to remember one really, really important thing. It's the only thing I want you to remember besides my talk, see? And that is, have a great week.